In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Plano A-Series 2.0 tackle backpack that you may have seen at your local Bass Pro Shops. This bag caught my attention while I was shopping for a new fishing rod, and after some inspection, I determined that this would accomplish everything I wanted out of a tackle backpack, even more than my first tackle backpack, the Cabela's Advanced Angler. I made a review on that tackle backpack as well, so feel free to check it out if you're interested, and I'm going to reference that bag and compare it to the Plano bag a lot. Hopefully that can give you guys some context to the points that I make. But back to the Plano. The A-Series 2.0 is listed at 12.5 inches long, 7.9 inches wide, and 18.5 inches high, and features a premium fabric body with some hints of synthetic leather, and can be found for around the $70 to $90 range. The bag has plentiful exterior storage with two side pouches, which I use for holding a water bottle and a rolled up towel, and one main pouch protruding from the center of the bag, which can easily hold a size 3600 utility box. This pouch is secured by stainless steel snaps, which is a big deal when going saltwater fishing. It's good to know that these snaps shouldn't rust like the ones on our Jon Boat seats. Another useful detail is that the male snaps are attached to MOLLE loops, which allow you to place your finger and use it as leverage to close the snap. Very well thought out here by Plano. On either side of the bag you can find something that's referred to as a pig snout, which is a slotted patch that is commonly used for holding shoes. This might be useful if an angler dirtied his shoes while fishing, but doesn't want to carry them inside the book bag or hop into the car with them on. On the back of the bag, there's padding on the upper and lower back, but not as much and not as soft as the padding on the Advanced Angler. On the straps, there's a chest clip to support your back when wearing the backpack, but it doesn't have a waist clip, while the Advanced Angler does. The A-Series 2.0 implements a clamshell design, meaning the shell of the bag can be entirely opened and laid flat. I really like this design. The fact that I have access to everything I need by opening one zipper was almost the singular reason why I bought this bag. The Advanced Angler had multiple interior compartments that may have improved the organization of items, but I would always get confused as to where I put what. With the Plano, you have access to everything you have stored once you open the oversized zipper. Once you're inside the bag, you'll notice it's divided in two parts. The upper portion of the bag has a mesh pouch with a divider underneath. Okay, I lied, there's another zipper. But this doesn't bother me because I can still see what's inside the pouch once the oversized zipper is open. I use this portion of the bag to store my tackle binders, which hold all of my soft plastic baits. There's also space around this pouch to store items if those items are about 3 inches in height or smaller. The divider is not removable, but it does have Velcro, so you can always fold this down if you'd like. The bottom portion of the bag is extremely impressive, as it can hold 4 3600 size utility boxes, which is plentiful storage. Now I don't use all 4 boxes, but I do carry a bulky GoPro accessory case, so this portion of the bag is very useful for storing that. On the opposite side of the interior of the bag, there are 3 mesh pockets for additional storage. I personally store my fish grips, dehooker, and other small tools there. This was an efficient use of space by Plano. On that same side, there is a zipper that goes across the width of the bag, which I find is useful for storing thin leader spools. There's enough space in there to even store an extra change of clothes. So those are the basics of the bag. Now let's talk about my general thoughts about it, and I'll discuss my concerns shortly after. First, I really like the design. It's a nice olive color that looks a bit tactical and outdoorsy, but it has some minimalistic undertones. It doesn't really look like a bag that would be used for fishing. Take a look at the bag next to my Herschel book bag that I use for school. Obviously the Plano is bulkier, but the aesthetic is similar in my opinion. As I mentioned earlier, I really like the oversized zipper and clamshell design. The Advanced Angler was way different, as the backpack and tackle bag portions were separated by a zippable divider, where you had to reach into the bag to unzip the divider. This design would cause some problems. If I had a lot of weight in the backpack portion, the bag would sag down once a utility box from the tackle bag portion was removed. This will make it really difficult to store the box again. With the clamshell design on the Plano bag, I can lay the bag flat and easily remove and store utility boxes as I need to. Speaking of the zipper, I like that it doesn't have a protective flap like the Advanced Angler. Those kinds of flaps may protect the zipper, but it makes it much more difficult to unzip the bag, and you run the risk of the zipper getting caught on the flap. It may just be my personal preference, but I really like this design. Now, the bag is bulky, which I'll get into in a minute, but I like that the bag holds its shape. Essentially, the bag should look no different if you have filled it to the brim or if it's completely empty. I can understand how some people may not like this, but I actually prefer it. Because the bag holds its shape, it's much easier to keep everything organized, and keeping the bag upright when storing it is no longer a hassle. Now, some negatives. The elephant in the room with this bag is that yes, it's bulky. The bag extends a full 8 inches off your back, which is a bit awkward. Keep in mind though that Plano sells a slightly smaller version of this tackle backpack, and it's even $20 cheaper if you'd prefer to go that route. The pockets on the interior are great, but the tools inside them tend to fall out whenever I fully open the backpack. I would have liked a drawstring on each pocket, allowing anglers to pull the pockets closed in order to secure small tools in those pockets. A small thing to keep in mind is that the bag is not really advertised to be waterproof. I did a small water test which simulated a slight rain shower, and the bag dried within a few hours. I wouldn't worry too much. My backpack is usually inside the Jon Boat casting deck hatch, so it wouldn't get too wet on our Jon Boat adventures. But my advice would be to be cautious, but water damage should not be a problem unless you dunk it in the water. So that's going to do it for this review of the Plano A-Series 2.0 tackle bag. And just wondering, what are your thoughts on it? Are you the type of angler that prefers smaller tackle bags, or do you appreciate a bigger backpack that can store more items? Also, I tried to keep the video relatively short since it's only an initial review, so I'm sure I missed out on a few details. If you have any questions about the bag itself or my experience with it, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.